You Know I Love You? Yes, it's true. But You Know I Love You is also the title of Sean McCann's new record coming out. He's releasing a song a week. So you'll have to check that out. We all know Sean McCann from Great Big Sea. He's doing some amazing work. Help Yourself, the newest record. He's got 2 other records before that. Really amazing stuff. He just talked about his alcoholism. He's talked about all his hardships, leaving Great Big Sea. And there's so much good happening. So much great stuff happening with Sean. So just pay attention. Pay attention. Sean's got a lot on the go. And Matt Wells will be talking to. Matt is a musician. He was in Bucket Truck. And he's also a broadcaster. He did Much Music. That's where I kind of knew him from. And he's on tour. He's making a new record. You got to watch this guy, too. He's jammed with Van Halen. That's crazy. And shared the stage with Slayer. You can't beat it. Stay tuned. We're going in for a great interview, folks. Peace out.
Get up every morning, make my empty bed. The feathers in my pillow feel like bullets in my head.
Hey everybody, Jeff Liberty here. I've got some friends. We're at beautiful Plan B. Very cool venue here in Moncton. Sean McCann to my right, Matt Wells. They're on a bit of a tour together. How'd you hook up with this man here?
Tinder.
Tinder?
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to explain more than that.
Well, I was looking for a road companion, and I just got the Tinder app, and I was swiping through, and Sean looked good.
You could have got a dog, though.
I could have got a dog,
beagle or something.
yeah, but I got Sean instead. So, Sean and I have known each other for a while, and we talk a lot about the fact that we're sort of living parallel lives. And we've got a lot in common in life and in music. And Sean has been very nice to ask me to play shows with him. And I'm more than happy to be the Louise to his Thelma.
So, and I knew you from Bucket Truck, and then obviously Much Music.
Yep.
Was it Going Coastal and Where Yap Baby?
All those things, going coastal to Much Music, to Much More Music. I felt like the luckiest guy in the world. I was working at TGI Fridays in Halifax. I'm from Newfoundland, but I was living in Halifax working at TGI Fridays. Going Coastal needed a new host. Mike Campbell was leaving, and he made sure that I was the guy who was going to be taking over, and that's changed the course of my life.
Right. Or
I
Yeah, Baby was a cool show.
Yeah,
it was like one of my favorites. Like Bands Reunited was fun.
Yeah.
On VH1.
Yeah.
And then what you were doing, like the Glass Tiger thing, Sammy Hagar.
Yeah.
Free trips to Mexico.
Listen, like I said, I was a guy who dropped out of university to play in a rock band, and then I got a job on TV to interview rock bands, the ones that I listened to when I was growing up. So I don't know how that all happened to me, but the stars aligned just right, and I'm very happy.
Where you want to be right now?
I'm exactly where I want to be right now.
And speaking of where you want to be, you're right here. You're where you want to be. You had, 2013 you left the band, right? The end of the year?
Yeah, just 18 months ago. Yeah, not that long ago, really.
Yeah.
And we had a 20-year run, and I figured that was long enough for me, and I had to make some changes in my life. I had just made some changes in my life, and it was an unhealthy place for me to be.
Right.
And we disagreed on a lot of things, certainly more than we agreed on. And I just decided the best thing for me to do to get away from that situation was to bow out. And I tried to do it as gracefully as possible, but it didn't really work out as well as I'd hoped.
Right. But, and I mean, you shed a lot of skin there, right? And did a lot of changes because you're used to having a manager and an agent and all these people in place. And you got a vote. You're like one vote, right, in the team. So now you're doing it all. And every move you make is you live and die by your own sword. How do you feel about that compared to the days with Great Big Sea?
I think that the music business is in a state of correction, and I think that the music business is also in a state of denial, the people that are the music business, because what I noticed in Great Big Sea, for example, we were having the same conversation about selling records and how to promote records as we had 10 years previous, and the whole world is upside down since then. So there's a stark lack of facing of reality. And I don't know how it's going to end out, and I don't claim to have the answers, but I'm determined to not be the guy on the Titanic who sees the iceberg coming and decides to just ride it out and enjoy myself for the rest of the ride.
Hope for the best.
Yeah, I don't, even if the news is bad, and what I've learned in my own life is just because it's hard doesn't mean you don't take it on. Just because it's difficult doesn't mean you don't face it. this is the path that I've chosen, and it's based in reality, and it doesn't make it always easy. But I don't think you can fix something unless you're willing to admit that it's broken.
Right.
And there's a parallel in my own life there, because I lived in denial about many years about an addiction problem, and but I eventually faced it, and I've been sober for 4 years now almost. And in the music business, they're just waiting for that iceberg to hit, and I just didn't want to be on that boat anymore.
And you had 2 records prior to Help Yourself, and now you've got something coming out. How is that going to change your whole sound and the way your outlook? Because your outlook's changed so much. So is it going to be a lot more introspective, or is it going to be, hey, I'm where I want to be now. I'm as happy as ever.
It's definitely the latter. I mean, the Help Yourself, produced by Joel Plaskett, my good friend. Really, it was a tool I used to enable me to deal with my demons in my past and to face them, and then to overcome them ultimately. And and I'm a work in progress. I mean, I'm still, every day is a new day, and you take it on, and you face those challenges. But I'm doing them with now an open heart and a clear mind at this point.
That hurts sometimes, doesn't it?
It stings, yeah, it stings. But I mean, again, you can use an anesthetic, which I certainly did, and an anesthetic has never cured anybody. It might enable you to do the surgery, but I wasn't getting the work done. I was just numb. But I mean, so I've already gone through that, and I have no regrets. And what I noticed was when I put that record out, I didn't expect, it was a very personal record about my truth, but it resonated with thousands of people, and people started to call me, wanted me to work, come and talk to their groups, come and do shows, and I realized, even though this was just my personal story, that because of the reaction, that I was not alone, and that meant for me in my healing process, that was very reassuring, and it actually reignited my desire to come out and play and engage with people. And so here I am. So this new record, I went back in the studio with Joel this winter and made this new record, which I'm going to start delivering one song at a time.
One a week?
One a week, yeah, starting the end of June. I think our attention spans are a bit fractured with technology today. But I'll try something new. It's a different approach. We'll see if it works. I don't know if it's going to work, but it's a different way to do it. But all these songs, they don't tell that personal story. They're all about how I feel now, and how I feel is content. I feel like I'm going the right way. I feel confident, and I feel happy. And I feel like I put some real hard stuff behind me, and that's what you'll hear in this record. So.
And that shows on stage too. You seem happy. You bring the audience up on stage. You come up. You don't even know what he's doing. Spirit in the Sky. I love that one.
You know what, man? It's Sean and I have been talking a lot about this. This is sort of our excuse to hang out too. You know, I'm living in Toronto. Sean's back home in St. John's, and this is our chance to hang out, and we get to talk about the things that we want to do and how you can do them. Mm-hmm. And Sean made this record with Joel, and Joel records on analog, and Joel is very old school in his approach to music. But at the same time, you want people to hear your music. You want people to be able to connect with you and what you're doing. So you need to try to find a balance between analog and Tinder. I mean, that's really where we are in the world. And so being able to, having experienced the things that we have, Sean with Great Big Sea, and the things that I've done in television and music, we realize that it's going to sort of fringe places, just outside the mainstream of what's happening, and bringing people together and still delivering music. There's a balance. There is a balance between analog and Tinder. I'm convinced of it. And it feels really good trying to find it, because at the end of the day, it's just about trying to be happy with what you do, and it's how you sort of define success. And that's why Sean and I have really connected over the past few years, because we've been very fortunate in our lives with the success we've had, but it didn't mean we were entirely happy with what we were doing all the time.
Well, and here's a question then for both of you before we do some sound checking and stuff. So what do you consider happiness today? What are your goals today compared to what made you happy 10 years ago?
Oh, that's a hard question. I want to continue to make music and be able to share it. Technology enables us to do that, but it's so pervasive that I believe it has literally fractured our attention span. So to make a song, it still takes the same amount of effort and time, and to record one properly. but the consumption of it and the sharing of it is the trick, right? And I have children, and I'm fascinated. It's not just for myself, but I'm confused and fascinated, and I feel like I have a duty to figure out, and it's hard because it's such a moving target. So like Matt was saying, I'm trying to figure out what the balance is. I grew up when people sold encyclopedias, and you went to school and you bought books, and people still, I don't know why students even go, like, why would we even go to school? Like, I have two kids that are 10 and 7 years old, and they live in a world where if you have a question, you pull out your phone and God is in your pocket and every answer is there. I would not want to be a teacher, but I am a parent. So my goals are simple: raise my children and make sure they can be successful and healthy people. Make sure that I'm healthy. Stay on the right track. Happiness is important. If you're doing stuff that is hurting yourself, you're unhappy. If you're in denial, you're not living an authentic life. I believe those things are important, and these are my goals. And I'm a work in progress. So the details for me, I just take it one project at a time. The next one is my new record, You Know I Love You, then followed by a tour. And in Rothsay, where we will the Barrel Room and all these things. And that's my simple goals for now. And I think the world changes too fast to get too far ahead. Yeah. But the simple avoidance, do no harm, simple things like that. Don't hurt anybody, and avoid trouble where you can.
Yeah. And the one thing that'll never change really is the live component, right? People still need that. People still need that. It's tangible. It's real. Oh yeah, live music for sure. That's a really big part of it. And you, Matt, where do you kind of see things? Just like I asked Sean about where you were at 10 years ago and now.
I get bored really easily. And I want to do things that I enjoy and that make me happy, because if I'm enjoying them and I'm happy, then I'm a balanced person, and the people around me, my wife, my kids, get to share in that with me. I don't want to be someone who is not enjoying what I'm doing, and I've been lucky so far that I've been able to sort of go from musician to TV host to acting to writer, whatever it is, and the lights are still on. And if I can just do that for the rest of my life, I'm happy, right? I'm happy. I always pictured playing music the way that I'm doing it on this show with Sean, in places where people are sitting and listening. You know, I've played in big venues, I've played in bars where it's just about being rowdy and having fun and partying, and I enjoyed that. But really now it's just sort of about trying to have an individual connection with people, and people really appreciate that. I appreciate going to shows like that, and I love talking to them when they come up. And I don't think the business is set up to be, it was never really set up that someone would find you in a bar and the guy would come over a cigar and say, I'm going to sign you, and then you're going to make you famous. There's all these other things that happen. So I don't have any illusions of that happening. I just want to make music because I have to, and then I want to play it because I have to. Like, I don't have a choice, and I just hope that people will be there.
The audience will be there.
That's it. So, I just want to keep smiling. I know it sounds really cheesy, but you live enough and you realize that's all that really matters, I guess.
Keep smiling, everybody. Sean McCann, Matt Wells. Thanks, guys.
Keep smiling.
Peace out.
Not looking for someone to lead me. I don't need no one to hold my hand. Ain't nobody gonna guarantee me a free trip to the promised land. Tired of sitting on a ball that's spinning. Tired of sleeping my way through. Tired of buying tickets and never winning. I'm tired of me and I'm tired of you. Tired of me and I'm tired of you. You don't need nobody else. You just need to help yourself. You don't need nobody else. You just need to help yourself.